In the last few months of 2023, more and more
This is so true. Now we heard about that. Oh, this is so fucking true. Why? I'm curious. I love Moon. He's saying really good, really smart stuff. He's a well thought of individual, and his point of view are usually pretty much on point. So let's see what he's got to. Because this is curious. All of a sudden, poop, 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 poop. All, all of a sudden, now people are talking. So, what the hell? U.S. urged to reveal UFO evidence after claim that it has intact alien vehicles. Whistleblower former intelligence official says government possess intact and partially intact craft of non-human origin. They didn't say alien or, non-human. It could be from monkeys, or it says non-human. Why? And they've been pushing that term, a non-human. What is a non-human? Because I know many living beings that are non-human, but you know, there's so many. There's so many. What is it? Non-human origin. They found intact and part. What is it?
and more reports have come out involving the US government and UFOs.
This was recent. Look, 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 look. 2023. Las Vegas UFO witness terrified by 8-foot creatures in his backyard. 100% not human. I mean,
2023.
oh, that's what we
More
saw.
and more reports.
Crashed UFO recovered by the U.S. military, distorted space and time. What? Crashed UFO recovered by the U.S. military, distorted space and time, leaving one investigator nauseous and disoriented. When he went in and discovered it was much larger inside than out. Attorney for whistleblower reveal. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hey, if there is one thing that I know for sure, is that we don't know nothing. All of us are a little bit of Jon Snow. So this one says they recovered a crashed UFO. Okay, that's what the article says. Okay, I don't know who's from the article from. DailyMail.com. Okay. Crash UFO recovered by the U.S. military distorted space and time, leaving one investigator nauseous and disoriented. This is now. When he went in and discovered it was much larger inside than out. That's strange. I'm trying to wrap my head around that. I just let's read. They had a guy who go into it, and it was the size of a football stadium. What? They say it was the size of a football stadium. What? Well, the outside was only about 30 feet in diameter. Well, look. I mean, 30 feet is not that long. Okay, it's not that long. I have an RV. It's that long. It's 30 feet long. And when I'm inside, it doesn't feel like a football stadium. I can tell you that. And this one it's in diameter. You know, okay, mine is 30 feet long and like I think it's 8 wide, maybe 10, but I think 8. It's not 30 by 30. But even if it was 30 by 30, I wouldn't invite nobody to play football inside. I'd be like, yeah, you want to play football? Go outside in the park. Nothing. There's a football. She and his okay.
Reports have come out involving the US government
Canada and the world get serious about UFO. This is Montreal.
and UFOs.
As a US whistleblower raises the UFO question, perhaps it's time the world looked for answer. Who's that guy? Garrett Nicholson. June 2023, 17th of June. So that's from yesterday.
Now, for as long as Area 51 has existed, the US government has always denied and hidden as much information as possible regarding the existence of UFOs. UFOs were once regarded as just the interest of tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists and stoners, but now UFOs are being widely reported by the media because it has become very clear that the existence of UFOs is real, and the US government secrets surrounding this have finally been exposed. And as crazy as this sounds, NASA has actually gone so far as to create a committee to examine over 800 reports of UFOs. And it doesn't even stop there. The Pentagon even confirmed the existence of a UFO program that encourages people to report sightings of UFOs. Luis Elizondo, a former Pentagon official, stated, quote, "We are quite convinced that we are dealing with a technology that is multi-generational. Several
That is multi-gener. Wait a second. I'm not sure I quite understand the several generation. Is it the explanation like several generation ahead of what we consider next generation technology? Why are they?
generations ahead of what we consider next generation technology. Maybe. And this admission by a government official lends credibility to the existence of advanced.
But that's one thing, okay? You have to remember, we have to take this with a grain of salt, okay? It's exactly why are UFO everywhere right now? That's why and where and who and what's the narrative, you know? That's what we have to be careful, because more and more our information have been getting into a funnel, smaller and smaller, and you know, so when a big news or something like, if 100% it's true, aliens are here or whatever, it's like the biggest secret ever, you know? So that's something that you have to take. Why now? Why now? Why now? And very good question, Moon. Why now? I'm curious to see what he's about to say about that.
Advanced aerial phenomena that surpasses our current technological understanding. And then on April 30th, 2023, the unthinkable happened. It all began with a 911 call from a family who reported seeing two large figures in their backyard. The figures were described as being 8 to 10 feet tall with large eyes.
Every time I hear about alien, you know, I'm no specialist, okay? But I heard about little aliens, like 3 or 4 foot tall. You know, small aliens. Not 8 to 9, 10 foot, you know.
And the family insisted that these aliens were not human. The police officers who reported to the call also reported seeing something unusual in the sky that night. And then the police body cam footage directly shows a bright light moving erratically in the sky, a sighting that was completely independent of the family's report, which inadvertently completely verified the family's claims in the first place. And the officers' reactions to the sighting were captured in their body cam footage, as they can be heard discussing the sighting amongst themselves, expressing their disbelief and nervousness.
I have butterflies, bro. Everyone saw a shooting star, then these people say there's aliens in their backyard.
Indicating how truly strange the situation was. And then the family who actually made this 911 call reported additional strange occurrences. They heard footsteps on their roof and saw one of the large figures attempting to operate a front loader stored in their yard. They also
A front loader? What is a front loader? Oh, okay. I think this is a front loader. Okay, yeah, it makes sense. They claim they've seen the 8-foot-tall creature climb behind the control of a large front loader. What the hell? See, what?
reported that the spot in their yard where the object had landed was obscured and blurry, as if
What? Let's.
they also reported that the spots in their
Then something strange happened, and just said that while his vision was fine, if he looked elsewhere, the whole backyard area became blurry as he heard thousands of footsteps around him. What? No, you're fucking nuts.
yard where the object had landed was obscured and blurry, as if by some unknown form of camouflage. This event, along with the police cam
What?
footage of this event, provided one of the big
Oh, wait.
camouflage, and this event, along
A front loader. So, an alien crashed here. Beau trip de moche, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
with the police cam footage
Do you know about that guy Moon? He makes videos. It's always very smart. He's a very smart video maker.
of this event provided one of the biggest challenges towards the mainstream narrative of UFOs, suggesting the very real possibility of extraterrestrial life. The police body cam footage, combined with the family's eyewitness account and the officers' reactions, provides an incredibly compelling case for the existence of UFOs.
The government admit UFOs are real. The police are investigating UFO stories.
However, this story wasn't just a normal isolated UFO incident that you hear about once a year. This story broke following the US government's recent admission of the existence of UFOs, with the former director of national intelligence John Ratcliffe stating, quote, "There are a lot more sightings than have been made public. We are talking about objects that have been seen by Navy or Air Force pilots, or have been picked up by satellite imagery, that frankly engage in actions that are difficult to explain." Which begs the question here, what is going on? What has the US government been covering up for the last 70 years? And what is
It's because the whistleblower has been saying like that the US government is in possession of multiple non-human craft. He's not saying alien. He's not saying, he's saying non-human crafts. And, well, although there are many species around the world, non-human could be, So why it's curious because right now there's a lot of information about UFO that's being pushed lots of UFO sightings. Like now the government is admitting stuff. really? Like, that's strange. It's strange. I have to tell you right now, it's strange, you know. It could be propaganda. That's and yeah, I know nothing. That's one thing for sure. I know nothing. And yeah.
NASA going to release to the public about UFOs? And even more importantly, why is this all happening now?
Yeah.
To understand the full
Yeah.
picture, we need to understand why this is becoming so mainstream today. Because there have been some very recent revelations that could potentially shake the very foundations of our understanding on life and existence itself. However, before we continue, I want to tell you about our video.
But before we continue,
and prices increasing, it's hard to justify spending the money for AirPods and other overpriced earbuds, but that's why I want to talk to you about the everyday earbuds by Raycon. Normally affordable tech makes you think, okay, so you get what you pay for, but with Raycon this just isn't the case. When I tried Raycons, the quality sound and its features like noise isolation and its water resistant build, in addition to its 8 hours of playtime, means I could use these all day in the gym or when I go hiking. And compared to my AirPods, where I find the battery just dies so quickly, forcing me to always charge them up. And yet even with the Raycons completely outliving my AirPods, they don't cost an arm and a leg for great sound quality and the smart tech listening features like noise isolation. Because thanks to Raycon, you're paying half of the price for the same earbuds. As Raycon knows that in this economy, every purchase needs to be perfect. And so they offer you multiple payment options. You can either buy now or pay later, allowing you to pay as low as $18 at checkout. And now they also offer you 2 years of product protection insurance for just a few bucks. In addition to free domestic shipping, they can also ship internationally at a flat fee. And they also have an easy and free return guarantee. So click the link in the description box below and go to buyraycon.com/moonyt to get 15% off your order. You see, a credible witness, a 36-year-old Air Force veteran named David Grush, has exposed a top-secret military program involved in the retrieval of a UFO wreckage. The US government, it seems, has recovered wreckage from a fully intact UFO.
These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles.
non-human origins, and he's looking at the camera right at the same time.
Call it spacecraft, if you will. Non-human, exotic origin vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
And this isn't just a piece of broken satellite or fragment of an aircraft. These are complete
But see, this guy, that's what is strange. That's one thing I'm questioning, because at some point, I watched the interview he gave. At some point, he says that he's not revealing everything and that his superiors agree with what he's about to say. So that is strange. Right now, right there, it's making me think like, is it a psyop, information, to divert the attention? Or why? Because other people in their lifetime, there's a person even at 1800 there was already sightings of UFOs. Dude, there are many things that we don't know, okay? First, just history. Let's think about history. At some point, there's so much things that we don't know, and it comes from the past. And how the Egyptians, just the Egyptians, some of the Egyptians, they were saying like, oh no, they don't want us to freak out. I don't know. I don't know, but that's strange. That's one thing for sure. Maybe it's fake. Maybe it's fake. Maybe there's a saying that says truth is stranger than fiction. And I don't know. I don't know everything, but I believe could be an issue. That could be true. Hey, Jeannie, what's up? The pyramids are actually spaceship buried in the sand. Dude, maybe. I never been to the pyramids, so I don't know. But yeah, but one thing I know is that people have been controlling the narratives to push their own agenda for, millennia. And now things would be different. No, they just have new tools to push their narrative to achieve their agenda. That's yeah. And remember when you're watching TV, because right now most of the news that you're getting is from social media, or there's not much word to mouth, or in person. It's more social media, and the social media is censored, so it's strange. And now this new information about UFO, like, it's like a dump of information. What's true, what's not true, what's right, what's not right. I don't know. One thing I know for sure, something is being pushed. Time frame for building the pyramid is not logic with the manpower they had. And I don't know. Dude, I struggle to put things together here, so I can't imagine building pyramids. But I know, that's one thing I know for sure. I went to college. And I learned one thing in college, is that I know fucking nothing. And I would be shocked and surprised, if I want to see what this guy has to say about it. It's such an interesting topic, because we don't know. So it's only hypothesis or opinions or a bias or whatever. So nobody knows. But if I had to choose between the red pill and the blue pill, oh, for sure I take the red pill. I take the pill that show me the truth. I don't care if it hurts or if I faint because it's too much. I take the red pill. Anything. And right now, Anyway, let's keep watching. He's very interesting.
Damaged vehicles, possibly of non-human origin.
Yeah, that's I watched long. That's what's strange. Non-human origin. It could be so many things. And they don't, and this guy is not saying, oh, it's alien, or they're extraterrestrial, or they're believing among us for, he's saying non-human origin. It's so vague. It means nothing. But at the same time, what does it mean?
And since this happened, the US government has been going crazy about UFOs.
Oh yeah.
Because the implications of all of this are staggering. If these vehicles are indeed not of this world, it suggests that life exists beyond our current understanding, raising the tantalizing possibility.
See, that's where I disagree with what he's saying. He's saying life exists beyond our world. He's not saying there are interstellar spaceships or spaceships at all. He's saying non-human origin vehicles. Maybe there's another race living here. I don't know. But, that's already assuming, because all we know is non-human origin. That's all we know.
That we as humans are really not alone in the universe, that there are truly other forms of intelligence out there, perhaps more than us. And as crazy as this sounds, since this incident, the Pentagon has been going all out with UFOs. As I mentioned earlier, the Pentagon has literally set up a UFO program. And this isn't just about tracking and documenting these sightings, it's now gotten to the point that they are actually having to educate pilots and aviators because of how common this is. Because the Pentagon is finding out so much about these UFOs, they are currently deciding right now whether they're going to release a classified briefing on a UFO that was captured on video. A UFO that might have been exactly what David Grush was describing. Because the pressure is now mounting, these strange occurrences are happening so much that it's just impossible to ignore. And the US government is realizing that they can't keep this a secret anymore.
This guy.
With more
Oops.
impossible to
We saw him. He's an alien. He definitely is an alien. He's not fitting in his body. That's why he's stumbling and everything, and he's saying crazy stuff, because he's got auto-translate thingy, and he's saying weird stuff, but it's the translation. It's the translation. And it's because he's not totally fitting in his body. That's why it's alien. 100% sure. That's why. People say, oh, he's too old. He's not too old. Well, I think the alien inside of him is like 3,000 years old, but it's young for the race.
And is realizing that they can't keep this a secret anymore. With more whistleblowers coming out, more and more people reporting these strange occurrences, and pilots colliding with these UFOs, and UFO wreckage literally being found, the government is now... And
Wait a second. Listen. Wait a second. Dude, there's LED light on that UFO. Look at that. Look at that. Really? There's UFO. There's LED light.
it's literally being found, the government is now panicking. And if you don't believe me, the government has actually recently been establishing numerous other programs to investigate UFO sightings. One such program was the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, which ran from 2007 to 2012. This was a top secret investigation funded by the US Defense Department that was completely dedicated to studying UFOs. And whilst this program was officially shut down in 2012, recent reports and whistleblowers suggest that the government investigation into UFOs have continued through various other top secret programs that the public doesn't actually have any knowledge of, because the government has been releasing unclassified reports to Congress, providing lawmakers with analyses of UFO sightings. And not just lists of sightings, they're comprehensive studies, analyses of UFO sightings. And not just lists.
Oh, this is a report from where the UFOs have been spotted. Like, you can see on the map here. Oh, and this is the shape. Morphology. So morphology, the shape. Hotspot. This is where they are. They're in China. Here. Oh, really? This is Germany. This is around Germany. I'd say, yeah. France is right here. Germany's, Germany. And US. A little bit in Africa. Really? And this is the altitude, the height. So most common is like, it's like mid-height.
Sighting from multiple angles and trying to examine potential explanations. And whilst the Pentagon decides whether they will release the briefing on the UFO that was captured, the US Department of Defense has already released several previously classified videos showing encounters between US military aircraft and UFOs.
We don't see much, eh?
And these really aren't just your typical grainy, hard to make out videos. They were captured by advanced infrared sensors and radar tracking systems showcasing.
Well, okay, look. He's saying they've been catched by a radar tracking system and advanced sighting stuff. Look, he's showing. Look. This is an advanced tracking system and
advanced infrared sensors.
Advanced infrared. Look at that picture.
That seem to defy our physics.
It's very clear.
Aren't just moving fast.
I can see clearly what it is.
We can't explain with our own existing knowledge of aerodynamics. The government has no idea what they're seeing, because these videos show instantaneous acceleration, hypersonic speeds without the sonic booms, low observability, even cloaking abilities, characteristics that science just can't explain. And the US government isn't just releasing videos, it's also making official statements acknowledging the existence of UFOs, marking an inflection point in our understanding of UFOs, because the US government narrative has moved away from the usual dismissive or non-committal responses, where they would just pretend that anyone believing this stuff was a crazy person, where any whistleblower was a fraud, a Russian agent.
This was a scene from
concerns about all of this, because now
Saul Goodman.
That there are genuinely forces outside of the US government's control, and the US government, the most technologically and military advanced government in the world, has absolutely no idea what to do with any of this. And the US government has to be very careful here, because it's one thing to see something strange in a photo, and another to see alien technology from outer space operating on Earth. And this distinction is obviously crucial for the US, because if they get the wrong idea and don't understand this technology properly, it poses a massive weakness in the US military, if this were just to be another government secret military technology. Scott Kelly, a former NASA astronaut with an extensive career, who is actually a member of NASA's Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Committee, or in more simpler words, he is a part of NASA's UFO committee. This guy who has years of experience as a Navy pilot and spent a year in the International Space Station recounted an incident during a flight near Virginia Beach, where he and his co-pilot were certain that they had encountered a UFO. However, upon closer inspection, the object just turned out to be a balloon shaped like a cartoon character called Bart Simpson.
And my Rio thought, the guy that sits in the back of the Tomcat, was convinced we flew by a UFO. So I didn't see it. We turned around, we went to go look at it. It turns out it was Bart Simpson.
This infamous incident made it clear how important it is to analyze footage from multiple sources, because much of the data they used to look at the supposed UFO was of very low quality, making it hard to see if it's a mystery or not, and it turned out it was just a balloon. But with the recent footage shown by the US government, this contradicts all of this, because this footage is incredibly high quality from multiple sources. We're not just talking about some random balloons that can be explained away easily, we're talking about UFO wreckage, high quality videos from multiple sources of alien technology, and detailed verified accounts of UFOs and other forms of life on Earth. Like I mentioned earlier about the Las Vegas sighting, I mean, all of this work being conducted by the Defense Department and Pentagon isn't just a random occurrence, and this brings up the question, why has the US government been trying to cover this up for so long? And why is it only now that we're hearing this huge wave of news about UFOs? Well, it might be because the US government doesn't want the public knowing about this. One reason for this may be explained by Jeremy Corbell. Jeremy is a filmmaker and UFO
Yeah, and that guy is, he's, you know, do not trust this guy. This guy and the one before, Luis Elizondo, he was part, you know, of another, before another wave of UFO information pushing with the guy from Blink 182. They had To the Star Academy. And this guy, Jeremy Corbell, and Luis Elizondo with the other guy, Tom DeLonge, they were pushing a narrative. And turns out they didn't have much, and, you know, and they said that they contacted like the CIA or something, and the CIA just gave them information. Oh, you can talk about this. And so they pushed it like, oh, yeah. I don't think they're aware that they are. I think what they are saying is coming from the bottom of their heart. You know, they're well intended, and they don't want to push false information. But I think they're pushing a narrative that's being said to them. That's why when I see them, that's what I believe. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but I have a feeling. I have a little feeling. Maybe I'm wrong. But I believe this guy is genuine. I mean, he's not trying to fool anybody, but he's being fooled. So this is the most dangerous people, because they believe what they're talking about. But they are being fooled. They're just good salesperson. That guy.
Enthusiast, who has continually shared his insights and experiences related to UFO sightings and the government's responses to these phenomena. And Corbell infamously described the Musal Orb, a UFO sighting in northern Iraq that was captured on video and included in a classified briefing. He emphasized
see it right here at the bottom,
noting that this is the first time the public is seeing a UFO from a conflict zone. Corbell also mentioned the US government's attempts to reverse engineer non-terrestrial technology, with Jeremy actually claiming that the US is fully intact crafts and machines that they have been trying to reverse engineer. This isn't an anomaly either. In July 2020, the New York Times reported that a small group within the US government, the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, was investigating reports of unidentified aircraft and had briefed
no longer in shadows. Pentagon's UFO unit will make some finding public. For over a decade, the program, now tucked inside the Office of Naval Intelligence, has discussed mysterious events in classified briefing.
identified aerial phenomena.
NASA's UFO team discusses its finding publicly for the first time. This was recently, actually. NASA group that formed around a year ago to study unidentified UFOs held its first public meeting ahead of a report expected in the next few weeks. Ahead of a report expected in the next few weeks. Has the report being out yet?
Phenomena Task Force was investigating reports of unidentified aircraft and had briefed the US Senate's Intelligence Committee on some of its findings. The report actually suggested that the group had examined materials from UFO crashes, but this claim was not officially confirmed by the government. And then in December 2020, the debrief reported on the existence of 2 classified Pentagon reports on UAPs, which allegedly contained an image of an unidentified object and a mention of retrievals of off-world vehicles not made on this earth.
Who they're working for. That's one thing. I love this guy's video, but Not much information. Intelligence officials say U.S. has retrieved craft of non-human origin. Yeah, this is Ralph Blumenthal and Leslie Keane. Yeah. That article. Okay, I heard about that. June 5th. Yep.
Earth. However, these reports haven't been publicly released or verified, and he suggests that these machines are not from Earth and appear to be built by a non-human intelligence. However, he does acknowledge that we don't know who these builders are or what their intent is, and because it's so hard to prove that this was built by a non-human intelligence, it leads on to one key theory, that the US government is hiding this to prevent other world governments from using this technology against the American government. And it makes a lot of sense. I mean, in June 2021, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence released an unclassified report on UFOs to Congress. And the report, which analyzed 144 sightings on unidentified aerial phenomena from US government sources between 2004 and 2021, concluded that most of the sightings could not easily be explained and that they may pose a challenge to US national security. However, with this said, the Pentagon has released 3 videos of unidentified aerial phenomena, and the Department of Defense also stated, after a thorough review, the department has determined that the authorized release of these unclassified videos doesn't reveal any sensitive capabilities or systems, contradicting the National Intelligence Report to the Congress. So what's the real reason that the US government has been hiding all of this? I mean, for years and years, decades and decades, the level of secrets around UFOs has been astonishing, and the labeling of anyone questioning the government narrative of the UFOs has always been seen as a whack job in society. And because of this, it makes me feel like there's far more to this than just government weapon technology. This isn't just about national security, because if UFOs are truly real and alien life really does exist, then I think the reason the government is hiding all of this is that this poses one of the greatest threats to the entire globe's stability, and more importantly, humanity's understanding of the world. And to understand what I really mean here, we need to understand Max Planck. Now, Planck was a German theoretical physicist who is considered the father of quantum theory, which revolutionized our understanding of the atomic and subatomic processes. And he introduced the concept of energy quanta, which essentially means that energy, like matter, can be discretized into small distinct units. And this theory was groundbreaking because this was a significant difference from classical physics, which just viewed energy as a continuous wave. And now this might sound complicated and irrelevant to UFOs, but if we extend this concept to the study of UFOs, things become really crazy. You see, quantum physics has given rise to so many theories about the existence of multiple realities or dimensions. It's the reason why the idea of an infinite universe exists. This would provide empirical evidence for these quantum theories and could drastically change our understanding of the entire universe. In addition, quantum entanglement, where particles are linked and their states can instantly affect each other regardless of distance, could hypothetically be used for faster than light communication. And if UFOs were found to use such technology, this would revolutionize our understanding of communication and transportation. Not only this, it would force us to reevaluate our understanding.
First, UFO are real. Anything we cannot identify is considered unidentified. True. Second, if alien exists, they should be way smarter than us. And so I would assume they would have taken over our world completely, or they aren't ready for us to communicate. I agree with that. I agree with that, Ginny. 100%. It's like I played okay, you know, there's a game that I love, a really good game that I love. It's called Star Ocean, and it's in that game. There's like the Pan-Galactic Federation, and it's basically like a space government. You can call it like that. I think it's Star Wars or something similar, but I'm not a big Star Wars fan. And when they discover new worlds, because the universe is, very big, when they discover new worlds with civilization, if they're not ready, so they're not to a certain stage, they don't even talk to them or show themselves or, give them tools to destroy themselves, or they don't show themselves. So, and the game is based around, things that happen around that. It's very, I think it's very well done. There's a remake of the second one coming out very soon. The best one in the series. Star Trek's Prime Directive. I don't know. I haven't seen Star Trek either. I'm not that much. I'm more of a video game geek. No, not much TV. Our world must not been worse since they're not in control of Earth. Maybe they are. You know, we don't know. One thing for sure, we don't know. I don't know. We can assume. We can talk about that all day long. We don't know. And Jeannie's right about that. Or maybe you're right. Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know. But if I was an alien, like very smart, way smarter than I am, not very difficult, you're gonna say, but still, and I'd see Earth, I think they would maybe look like a bunch of chipmunks or chimpanzees. They say that the apes are now in the Stone Age. They say apes now are in the Stone Age. They are using tools to achieve their goals. They have goals. They learn sign language and shit. So now they're in the Stone Age. So there's a bit of evolution. It's hard to deny the evolution. Maybe they're, many steps ahead of us. There's so many things we don't know about the universe. We say the universe is like 13.5 billion light years wide. Why? It's because this is the only light we can see. And this is the age of the universe, because this is the only light we see. We think it was formed in one big spot and then it exploded and expanded. But that's a theory. Who was there 13.5 billion years ago taking notes? Like, oh yeah, that's what happened. No, that's a theory. That's a theory. That's it. We don't know. Still, they don't know. It's because the light, if light travels faster than if you travel faster than the speed of light, are you invisible? Salt water is probably not interesting. Maybe toxic in the oxygen for them. Yeah. See, who knows? We know what we need to have life on Earth. But that's it. We don't know if there is life on other planets or, other kind of life that needs other elements that for us are rare or uncommon or different, or it's everything that anyway, it's open for debate for sure. But to go back to the subject, why are UFO everywhere now? Because what he's talking about this video is now in the news, the UFO narrative is being pushed. Now there's UFOs, and they talk about it openly. Like, it's okay. You're not fringe for talking about UFO. You're not being laughed at or ridiculed. Now you're okay. You saw a UFO. Oh. See, maybe you'll still be laughed at, but not because you watched a UFO. TikTok era, bro. Yeah. Well, now the information is instant, worldwide. Yeah, just right now, I'm talking to you and you're answering. Like, it's not instant because there's like a 5-second delay, but there's like a 5-second delay. If you were in Australia, there would be like maybe a 6-second delay. That's it. That's crazy. Anyway, I want to see what he has to say about this. I want to see where he's going, because now he's going into space, and it's harder to hide nowadays. I'm not sure about that. Really. Because even with the media, the social media, because people start taking their information from social media is filtered. It's still censored. I can tell you YouTube is censored. Yeah, I made a video about Justin Trudeau. It was ridiculous. It's stupid. Nobody could believe it was true, okay? Because it was just ridiculous. I was saying Justin Trudeau is a turtle, I'm like, oh, Justin Trudeau's true identity has been revealed. He's a turtle. This video has like 24 views. All of the other videos are like a lot more than that. This one, boop. I I talk about Justin Trudeau, get 24 views. I have to look it up, you know. But I talk about one-shotting the butcher. Boop, no worries. No worries. You're talking about the big game now. Yes. Keep people dumb. That's in the old ages, you know, they were like, again, they were like saying, "Oh, watch out what you're doing because you're being watched all the time by God." You know, God is everywhere. He's in what you do. He's in your thoughts. Hey, you cannot hide from God because He's in your head. You're like, God's in my head. Nobody's in my head, you motherfucker. And you think about it because you don't have much information, and everybody's convinced that God's in their head. So you're like, oh, maybe God is in my head. It's it. But now you're still being watched, you know. But now, the guy who's telling you your information, it's not the pastor anymore. It's this. It's oh. Oh, okay, that's what happened. That's what I need to think. Oh, okay, yes, Joe Biden good, Trump bad, this guy good, this guy bad. Oh, okay, okay. See, you are being spoon-fed your information with this device, and that's okay. I mean, it's very. This device is actually revolutionary. You have the knowledge of mankind at your fingertip. When you think about it, you have the knowledge of mankind at your fingertip, accessible or on a television. Yeah, exactly. On a television. But you have the knowledge of mankind. Yes, yeah. But it's being filtered. You have access to the biggest library ever created by men. But it's being filtered. Because when you do a Google search, why is it first on top? Many reasons. Maybe because, people paid for it. Or maybe because it's true. But how does the AI know it's true? People have been telling the AI, oh, yeah, this is true. This is not true. When people write chocolate cake on the internet, this is a chocolate cake. Google AI didn't know nothing. It was fed information with a certain kind of bias. So that's who. Anyway, let's focus only the knowledge that they want you to know about. Well, yeah. Well, no, all of the knowledge is there. You just sometimes you have to look it under a big pile of, narrative, propaganda. Because, and this is why sorry. Sorry. This is why propaganda can be very effective, because it's very effective if you use it with very small moderation, like boop, a drop here and there. So it's very hard to notice because it's in a sea of truth. So the little propaganda, the little ripples it had, it's hard to notice. But sometimes, they dump a bucket. Like, look, this feels like a bucket of propaganda being dumped. And we still have to know more about that. One of the U.S. presidents said, the last attempt to control your privacy will be an alien invasion, and it will be a lie. I can't remember who said it, but I was like, yeah, it makes sense. The last card that people are going to push to keep their power, I believe it's 100% true. A French Canadian guy in the 90s wrote a book about Project Blue Beam, and this guy, he doesn't say anything anymore. Let's have a little look. Serge Monast. He was French Canadian. He died in 96. Serge Monast. Can I see it in English? He died. Okay, he's known to English-speaking readers mainly for originating the conspiracy theory Project Blue Beam, an alleged plot to facilitate a totalitarian world government by destroying traditional religion and replacing them with a new age belief system using NASA technology. Oh yeah, that's it. They say they were gonna fake an alien invasion. And I believe now they have the tools to fake it. So maybe that's why it's being pushed. That's my theory.
As a whole. But more importantly, some theories now suggest that consciousness may be linked to quantum processes. So if UFOs were somehow linked to this, it would drastically change our understanding of consciousness. And that's why Max suggests that our current materialistic understanding of the world might be a very limited scope of looking at life. This is what was so groundbreaking about quantum physics, as Max Planck stressed the need for us to consider new models of reality, and extraterrestrial life does exactly that. I mean, just think of the riots, revolutions, uproar, anxiety, instability, and chaos that would ensue from such groundbreaking changes in humanity's understanding of the world.
I heard somewhere that in 2013, a president signed a law or treaty that is not send propaganda message in the media. Yeah. I heard about that. I heard that it's regarding with the CIA actually. And that's I don't know. I wasn't there, so I don't know. But I heard about it. That it's not illegal anymore to send propaganda in the media in the U.S. And that's because the CIA. I watched a documentary like 2 weeks ago. I have a video about that, and it's high-ranking members of the CIA during the 50s or the 60s. It was in the 65. Obama. The president is Obama. Yeah. And this in this documentary, the people are just like bragging about what they're doing. Oh yeah, we went in that country. This guy was not aligned with what we wanted, with our objective. So we tried, to fund his opponents. Or, there was a guerrilla in his country, so we armed the opposite side, and we taught them how to fight and tactics, and we were not there, we didn't do it. But we gave the tools and the needs and the why and the everything to the other side. And it just happened. Yay! And if it did not happen, we would find other people. And they were just bragging about doing that. Like, ha, 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 ha. I was like, what the hell? Imagine that right now. The CIA director going, yeah, we went in Afghanistan and we tried to push that. They didn't like it. So we were like, let's blow up their president. Or, their figure, their head figure, the head of the state. Or no, they can do that. But yeah, now they can do propaganda in the US. The CIA, the propaganda machine, just like the KGB or the other, every country has like a propaganda machine that's like controlling the narratives. And Canada is no exception. I'm telling you right now, Canada is no exception. And it's one of them who's pushing the hardest. Anyway. And now this narrative is being pushed. And there's so many implications that we don't know. And it's very curious. So while this is being pushed, I think we have to be careful about what's going on around anywhere else. Is it a diversion? like a magician. Like a magician, look at this hand, look at this hand, look at this hand, and then, you know, anyway, you see, is it a diversion? Is it what is it about? This, all of a sudden, all of those UFOs, we've been hearing about that forever. Just the Bob Lazar story. The Bob Lazar story is so good. It's worth, I think I'll find a video eventually and watch it on stream. It's such a good story. He's very consistent. He's been telling the same story for decades now. The exact same story. Maybe he learned it. He looks a bit autistic. He looks a bit strange, because he looks autistic. Yeah, he looks a bit. So maybe he remembers like very specific. I think he's got a very good memory. He doesn't seem like a person who is drinking a lot or taking a lot of drugs, or he seemed very credible, and his story hasn't changed. And he's saying very strange stuff. He's saying that first he worked on S4 in Area 51 or so. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but I think it's around there. He works on reverse engineering the engine because they dismantle one craft or something, and he was working on the propulsion system. And he said that he was replacing a guy who died. He died trying to open up the propulsion system. I'm not sure. I wasn't there. I don't know exactly how, but that's what he's saying. And he's saying that these craft are archaeological findings. That's what he has been saying. But he sends a quote on this. He says it's archaeological findings. He said because when you work, and I work at the government, Dummel work at the government, you can say that it's very complementary. You don't know exactly what the others are doing. You know your part, and that's it. Don't ask too many questions. You know, do what you need to do, and you know, if just keep in your lines, and everything will be fine. Step out of the line. We might, you know, guide you back to your lines. You know, stick to your lines. That's what it was about. And he's saying, maybe they're saying it's an archaeological find to know who's talking, who's leaking information. Slave mines. Yeah. Oh yeah. Fuck yeah. Anyway. But, you know, if the information is coming out in the media and it says, oh, it's an archaeological find, we know because we said that information to that guy. It's, yeah. So that's when you know how, but that's why he said, I don't know about the find. I don't know where they found it, but I know we have them. And that's what he did. He thought about element 115, which was theoretically impossible, and somehow they were able to do it, to recreate it like years after. But he said that's what powering this whole craft. He said that the craft was bending space and time. So and it was all about gravity. He said he was working. It was, I'm not sure, bending gravity. And he said that when you bend gravity, or you try to, I don't know if it's expanding or shrinking or no idea, I'm but something around gravity that it allows it to fly or to not feel anything when they fly around and they move very fast, it's called inertia. If I put you in a car and the car is fumbling down of a mountain, dude, you better have your fucking seatbelt on, an helmet, and pray your fucking God that you're gonna come out alive. But those things, they have erratic movements, and And if the occupants are, subject to the inertia, dude, they would bang themselves all around inside and die, or not die, but So this is strange. This is very strange. I'm curious to see why this is all coming out now, because Bob Lazar's story has been out for forever.
and
Let's keep
destroy
watching.
government narratives. All trust in these big pillars in society would be lost. And it seems like we're much closer than you think to this really happening. I mean, let's just take a step back and look to Mars, where the Curiosity-driven rover exists, with the sole purpose of looking for extraterrestrial life. And
Have great seatbelts. I hope for them.
of ancient microbial life, suggesting that Mars
See?
might have once harbored life. I mean,
See, if there was life on Mars, so the planets, it's Mercury, mon Dieu, Mercury, Venus, Earth, then Mars. Maybe at some point in time, yeah, there was life on Mars and not on Earth, because it was too hot on Earth, or I don't know. And then just it moved closer and closer. Maybe we don't know. But yeah, they're finding the next planet next to us, a sign of ancient microbial life. What the hell? And there's not life it's a dead planet. There's life. There's not life anywhere else in the universe. That's dumb. This is just, that's what you think, you're fucking dumb.
the rover has been collecting and storing samples of Martian rock and soil, exploring the Jezero crater, which is believed to have been a lake billions of years ago, and has also
Billions.
technologies such as the MOXIE instrument, designed to produce oxygen from the Martian atmosphere. And with the research that this rover is providing to Earth, if this continues over the next decade, it's very likely that evidence will come out that life really did exist on Mars. This is what many experts in the field believe. And if this is true, then our paradigm of reality and history will completely shatter. And when that happens, how on earth will humans be able to trust anything? This will be one of the most transformative periods in human history.
Dude, if that happens, this will not be one of the most transformative period of human. This is the red pill time. If this happens, this is red pill time. This is like, yeah, here's the pill and here's your new reality. Get used to it.
Bringing about a new enlightenment era. And as crazy as this sounds, this reality is coming closer and closer towards us, because David Grouch, an intelligence whistleblower, has very recently alleged that the American Intelligence Committee is hiding classified evidence of intact and partially intact craft of non-human origin. Like many of these whistleblowers, Grouch is claiming that these crafts
Whistleblower David Charles Grouch filed a complaint asserting that the Pentagon, along with other nations and defense contractors, has retrieved so see, this is private. Has retrieved fragments of exotic origin. Exotic origin. What does exotic origin means? Belonging to another country. From the French, exotique. So, foreign, exotique, foreign, from outside. Exotic, from outside. Exo, outside. Non-human intelligence, whether extraterrestrial or unknown origin. See? Based on the analysis of vehicle morphology, the shape of the vehicle, material science testing, and the presence of unique atomic arrangement and radiological signatures. Unique atomic arrangement, the element 115 I was talking about from Bob Lazar. Because that's what's special about the element 115. It should not exist. It should not be stable. And yet it is.
Possess unique atomic arrangements and radiological signatures, very clearly suggesting that they were not made by humans. And this guy worked for the government. He's the guy in the front lines of UFO research, and he went on to make even more crazy claims this year, stating, quote, "When you recover something that's either landed or crashed, sometimes you encounter dead pilots," suggesting that not only have extraterrestrial crafts been retrieved, but also the bodies of their pilots. And this might be the reason the Pentagon is so hesitant to show the footage of the UFO wreckage. And these stories aren't anomalies. There are just more and more stories of this piling up over the span of decades, and it's only accelerating at the moment. And with more and more whistleblowers coming out, it's becoming harder and harder for the government to deny the existence of UFOs. I mean, Bob Lazar, one of the main guys talking about the stuff, has the second most viewed Joe Rogan episode in history.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look, I don't know where he's from. Where the hell? Oh, probably Italy. But yeah, Bob Lazar. Exactly. This is such a good video. This is, wow. Look, if you haven't seen that, go watch this. Go watch this. This is crazy. I love Joe Rogan. See this guy. So who's this? This is Jeremy Corbell. This is the guy that I say he's genuine, but he's being fed information. This is making me doubt Bob Lazar a little bit now. Because, yeah, I didn't realize this is Jeremy Corbell. But this guy, yeah.
Alone reaching 50 million views.
He's a smart one,
Even that famous,
for sure.
But because of what they discussed in the episode, the podcast went viral.
And I think at least one of them was part of an archaeological dig.
Whoa.
Exactly what I said. Exactly what I said. That's what I was talking about earlier.
So that's
this interview.
That means it's not just old, it's ancient.
That'd be a great Steven Spielberg movie.
As notably in the podcast, he brought up the Wilson memo, which was said to detail a conversation between Admiral Wilson and a scientist about a special access program, a US national defense contractor known for work on nuclear technology and the U-2 SR-71 Blackbird aircraft. Now, the memo allegedly reveals that during the course of this project in 1989, the team encountered a technological hurdle that they couldn't overcome with the scientific knowledge and capabilities of the time. So as a result, the project was shelved, only to be revisited later to see if advancements in science could potentially resolve the previously insurmountable issue. The conversation between Admiral Wilson and the scientist, as detailed in the memo, is significant because it suggests that there are classified projects within the US government.
The memo that proves alien landed at Roswell, released online by the FBI in 2011.
That are dedicated to understanding and potentially reverse engineering non-terrestrial technology. And the fact that a high-ranking official like Admiral Wilson was involved in such a project lends credibility to the memo and the implication it carries about the government's involvement in UFO research. And with all of the whistleblowers coming out, with all of these recent events happening, this story now seems very realistic and validates all of the concerns that the US government has been hiding UFOs for many, many decades. Whether this is just some silly thoughts that we've always been told or truly alien technology, it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, it's becoming clear that trust in government is dwindling and they can't keep these secrets hidden from the public for much longer. The narrative is changing, reality is shifting, and the truth is unraveling. No matter what, whether true or false, it's becoming clear that the world is only going to be far more surreal this coming decade.
Oh yeah. Such a good video. Moon. Always amazing videos. Always. I mean, such a good video. All right.